Greetings, YouTube. Today I'm going to be linking to something I actually read back in August when the Chelsea Manning transitional status really hit the interwebs. And it really got the whole idea of transgendered people in the military into the minds of people on the internet. And something coming out of the Williams Institute says that trans people serve in the U.S. military at rates double that of the general population. Despite the math, they nonetheless face discrimination during and after service. The Williams Institute at the UCLA School of Law focuses on sexual orientation and gender identity law and public policy. There's relevant passage here. Many transgender people desire to serve their country in armed forces, yet are not allowed to enter or allowed to remain in the service if they wish to live their lives true to their gender identities. Transgender service members and veterans have reported wide-ranging experiences of discrimination, harassment, and physical and sexual assault while serving in the military. Outside of the military, transgender veterans in the NTDS experience higher rates of homelessness, incarceration, and family rejection than those who did not serve. Transgender veterans describe unique challenges and barriers to obtaining necessary health care and accurate identification documents. The repeal of the Don't Ask, Don't Tell does not provide a public policy solution for these problems transgender service members and veterans experience. Though the VHA has begun to address transgender veterans' health care concerns, it will be necessary to make additional changes to military policies in order to allow transgender people to serve openly and with honor. And then there's a little note at the bottom that the Kinsey Institute just got funding to research on the lives of trans people in the military, which is, again, as it comments, is a good thing that this topic is getting attention. Now, I don't actually find it all that shocking that transgender Americans want to serve in the military. Joining the military is a way to get away. You're leaving your life behind, and you're going into a safety net. So you're not just like packing up your belongings in a bag and moving out and praying you can find a job somewhere. You are moving into a position where you will make sure that you have, housing and food and training and the whole nine yards. And in theory, at the end of this process, might end up with some skills and such that you could then apply to the civilian world. Though I have known people that and picked up skills in the military that they weren't really able to apply in the real world, such as becoming experts at amphibious assault. You don't use that a lot in your day-to-day life. And the fact that the military isn't welcoming to this isn't also not surprising to me, because the whole zeitgeist of the military, this is what it is to be a soldier. Now we opened that up a little in the past, where it says, okay, we'll let the non-white soldiers in, and then okay, all right, we'll let the women in a little bit there, but then we have to admit that there are gay people in the military who have always been in the U.S. military, always. So they opened it up a little more, but they haven't opened it up completely. They maybe let the non-Christians in now, and even though there's a lot of preaching of Christianity to the troops in the U.S. military. But the transgender Americans have an issue because they fall outside of what many Americans are comfortable with. And that's no different in the military or civilian life. Now, these people served honorably. They need to be treated with the respect that all veterans deserve. All those currently in active duty need to be shown respect. We need to treat all people, equally under the law, regardless of whether they're in the military or in civilian life, regardless of how they present themselves. People's sex, their gender, their orientation, and their presentation should not affect anyone else other than that person. And if it bothers you that someone else has come forward and said, my gender does not mesh with my physical appearance, then I think that's an issue where you really have to step back and ask yourself, why?